G'day, I'm Holly from Tahbilk Marsanne, and with me today is
Jo from the Tahbilk winemaking team.
And we're looking at a beautiful flight of Marsanne this morning. So we have the 2021 Marsanne, the 2016 Marsanne and the 2010 Marsanne. We thought we'd crack open these wines and see how they're going, see what the vintage difference is, and see how the wine is performing in bottle as well. So let's get into it.
And what's really interesting, I just want to point out with these beautiful Marsannes that we're looking at today, is that not every white wine ages well, but Marsanne is probably the creme de la crop of aging of white wines. So if you want to put a wine away and pull it out in a few years' time and see what it looks like, Marsanne is the varietal of choice.
Yes, most certainly. So you can see just from pouring these wines that there is a huge difference in colour as well. So the 2021 is light, it's a pale lemon colour. With the 16 we move more into that golden hue, and the 10 definitely has that golden lemon hue too, which is just fantastic.
And what's really interesting about looking at these wines side by side is not only we can see the evolution of the development of the Marsanne and what aging will do to the wine over the years, but we can also see what the vintage does to the wines and how the vintage will impact the aging of the wine. So there's a couple of things we can consider when we're actually looking at this wonderful flight of Marsannes.
And when we say vintage, what do you mean?
The year we harvest, that's basically what I'm talking about. So the year we harvest is what I would call the vintage of the wine. So
and that changes every single year. You're not going to have the same two vintages.
No, the conditions change every year, because at the end of the day, we're growing grapes, we're farming agricultural products, and so that will absolutely influence the style of the wine and the longevity of the wine. So yeah, that's really cool.
Brilliant, excellent. So I suggested that we start off with the 2021 and work our way to the left.
Perfect.
So let's give it a try.
Give it a bit of air, swirl it around. And it's got that lovely fresh character on the nose. So we're looking at 2021 Marsanne, just over a year old now. It's still got that fruity freshness, those esters from fermentation. It's mouth-watering. The acidity to me is mouth-watering.
Yes. Oh no, the minute it hit my nose, my mouth started watering. You know that 2021 Marsanne is going to be quite young. It's going to be very high in acidity. So the minute it hits my nose, I'm like, oh, let's get into it.
And the potential for me, I look at this wine and go, wow, look at the acidity on that and the potential in this wine and what's going to happen over the years as it ages. Oh.
I jumped the gun.
That fresh, vibrant, fruity, good length, good mid-palate weight, nice acidity, so good aging potential. So pop that one away or drink it.
Yeah, now.
What do you want to do? Yeah.
It's totally up to you. All right, 2016. So the thing with Marsanne is that it's beautiful to enjoy 1 or 2 years after it's been fermented and placed into bottle. And then it goes into a little bit of a lull, I would say, and then it comes out of it at around the 6-year point. So this is a great wine to look at, seeing that wine coming out of the hole, cutting out of the lull, and seeing how it's performing.
And what's really interesting also, Hol, when looking at these 3 wines today is we've got the young, we've got the old, and we've got the somewhere in between.
Yes.
So we can see the journey very well. We've got the fresh, fruity, varietal, estery, lovely Marsanne. This one, the 2016, is halfway in between. It's on the midway journey, if you like, between where it's going to end up and where it's come from. So that's really also very interesting.
Yeah, definitely. Now, completely different nose. It's still got some of those characters that we see on the nose with the 2021, but the 2016, it just introduces a little bit of
complexity. That's what I love, bit of interest. So we're moving through the spectrum from those fresh characters to, as you said, Hol, some of those lovely fresh fruity characters, but we're starting to see some of those secondary developed flavours moving into the wines, which makes it a really super interesting wine. Again, let the air in, let it breathe. It's been in a bottle for quite some time now, so open it up.
Definitely.
It's also got delicious acidity, so that wine to me has still got plenty of time in it, and will reward you if you pop that one away in your cellar for a few more years. So it's not going anywhere yet, so you can either drink it, enjoy the varied freshness and oldness in the one bottle, or pop it away in your cellar and give it some more time, because it's going to last a bit longer.
Definitely, definitely. The still acidity is just still there, and it's.
I still taste it. Good length.
It's got very good length to it, and I love it with food. I love the 2016 with food. Great with roast chicken. Squeeze your lemon on top, mussels, white wine broth, chunky sourdough bread.
When's dinner? When are you cooking?
I keep saying that, and everyone's like, "When are you cooking?" Alrighty, 2010. So this wine is officially 12 years old.
Yeah, and again, if you can look at the colour and notice the difference in colour, you'll see we go from that, fresh, almost straw in the beginning on the 2021 to we're starting to get some golden character to that lovely, gold wine.
Almost like old gold.
Ooh, old gold. Nice term, Hol. And you pop your nose in there and you're just going on a completely different journey. This is just a beautiful wine. I think that the nuttiness and the hint of marzipan and the toastiness, all those wonderful characters, and it's almost like you're kind of dying to know what the palate's going to look like. What's next? What's next?
I can't stop myself putting my nose into the glass.
Well, that's a good thing. Every time you come back, I think you find something different.
Yes.
Which makes the wine more interesting. So, yeah, complexity. Lovely.
I love when the palate, well, the nose, I should say, alludes to the palate.
Yeah, and I think it's like a mystery. What's it going to look like? But yeah, oh, it's lovely. It's just like that gorgeous. I know the wine is fully balanced. The acidity is there, but definitely not overpowering. And I think you can see what the wine would have been like. I think the vintage is quite interesting in this one because it was a hot year, so. We can see some of that in the wine, but I think absolutely beautiful character. It's a beautiful example of aged Marsanne. That's what I'd be saying.
Definitely. So to recap the vintages, we've got the 2021, 2016 and 2010.
Yes.
What were the vintages like?
Well, 2010 was warm, and we can see that in the wine, which is fine. I think 2016 was a good year. 2016 is one of the better ones. For whatever reason, sometimes the even ones around from 2010 to 2020 were, the even vintages were better than the odd vintages. I have no idea why, but that seems to be the cause. 2021 was also a good vintage, and it'll be very interesting to see how that wine ages down the track and see what the vintage characters allow that development of the wine to do. So, so for me, I don't know, the pick of them, the 2016 is, going to age and it's going to last us longer. It's going to stick around. If you want to try something that's a beautiful example of something that's a typical aged Tahbilk Marsanne, pop yourself in for the 10 and pick up some 2021 to pop away in your cellar to give yourself the journey.
Yes. Patience is a virtue. It is when you do pop these wines in the cellar, it is incredibly rewarding to come back 10, if you can make it, 16 years later, and pull them out and go, I know I tasted this wine when I first had it, when it first came out. What does it taste like now? So that concludes the 3 vintages of Marsanne that we've tasted this morning. We'd love to hear your comments, your thoughts and your questions. Please pop them down below and Jo will be happy to answer. I will help out as well if you would like.
And pop into our cellar door. Come and visit us. Come and see what we've got. Come and buy some Marsanne. We'd love to see you. So pop down, pick up your flight of Marsanne, pop onto our website.
Yes,
you can do
definitely,
that too. Yep.
Definitely.
And see what's on there. And from us to you, enjoy Marsanne.
Enjoy.
Cheers.
Cheers. You can find the Flagship Marsanne pack online at www.tahbilk.com.au.